Okay, um, today I want to show you how to import a Word document into Affinity Publisher. This is not going to be a tutorial about how to lay out a book completely, but this is for a book. If somebody has written a manuscript in Microsoft Word, which this is quite common these days, that people write manuscripts, and they use Microsoft Word, is quite popular. There's other programs that people use, but I found that with clients that I have, they use Microsoft Word. And what I've got to do is I instruct the client to set up their manuscript with a minimal amount of text formatting. This is very important when it comes to importing the whole manuscript into Affinity Publisher, because that's what you want to do. And so I'm going to show you today the importing of a manuscript into Affinity Publisher to be compiled as a book, an actual book. And so we're going to go now and we're going to set up our document. It's A5. That's the size that I'm using. You can use whatever size you like. But this is for a book. It's A5, and there you can see all the measurements down there. There's only one document or one page, facing pages. These are our margins. That's the dimensions for margins. Notice I'm using millimeters, and there's our bleed, 3 millimeters. All right, so we create our document. All right, so there we are. The document is here. But look here under text styles. There's just too many text styles that they suggest, that Affinity suggests. So we're going to remove them. So we will detach and delete all styles. There we go. No styles left. And now we're going to go to our master document, our master document, and we're going to set up the running headers for the book. You know that every book has got to have running headers, is what they call them. And we just dragged out a margin, a guideline above the margins, and we'll do one for the bottom, and that will be for the number, the page number on either side, page numbers. I'm also dragging out some guides to guide me when I create the actual text frames. There we go. So that's that. So what we do is we get our text frame tool. We drag out a text frame. There we go. Make it slightly bigger, about like that. Good. We select our font, and I'm using Adobe Caslon Pro, which it was installed when I was using Adobe InDesign. Now we make it centered aligned in that text frame. We are going with not regular, we're going to go with semi-bold italic, and this will be for our book title. Always, the book title is always on the left, and then our chapters will go on the right. So let's click on that text frame, hold down the Alt key, and drag another text frame out, let go the Alt key, and then just place it on that side. You quadruple click on book title, go up to text, and insert a field, which will be section name, and triple click it again, and we're going to change that to semi-bold, just semi-bold, just normal, and then go to your character tab here on the right and select small caps. There we go, small caps. That's just what I've chosen. Oh, we want to center this in the middle of the text frame, center vertically. Yep, and let's do the same with the other one. Center it vertically. There we go. It looks a little better. All right, so now we're going to click on that side. We're going to hold down Alt and we're going to drag that one down. Let go Alt, keep on dragging and let it go. That's good. Then triple click again, go to text and insert field page number. There we go. And yeah, so that's semi-bold. We want to change it to semi-bold italic. Select your page number indicator and change it to semi-bold italic. All right, make sure you have the move tool selected, hold and that frame selected, hold down the Alt key, click and drag across, let go the Alt key and place that frame on the right hand side. And now you have just set up your running headers and your page numbers underneath. All right, now we go back to our first page, double click on it, there it is. It's allocated master A, don't worry about that, we'll fix that later on. Now we're going to import our Word document. You go to File, down to Place, and you find the appropriate Word document. Now, my wife's written a book a while back, and I'm going to place her manuscript. Actually, before we do that, let's drag out a text frame. Just drag a text frame out. Sorry, I'm just jumping the gun here. Let's take our cursor back up. What's going on here? This thing doesn't want to work. Let's top a line and it'll be on the left. That's fine. You with me? There you go. And it will not be semi-bold, it'll just be regular. Adobe Caslon Pro. Just set your font before you get started. And that'll be fine. Okay, now we're going to go to File, we go to Place, we select our manuscript, and we open it, and it will just place it right in the document. Now, let's go across to text styles. I've set up 3 text styles within the whole document. The whole manuscript has 3 text styles, and you'll see them here. That says no paragraph style, and that is no character style. These are the styles that are in the document that has been imported. Now, we want to just correct a couple of things with heading 1. So we're going to triple click on the heading, and we're going to set this thing up that we're going to set it up in a certain way that it's going to flow through the rest of the document. You'll notice here is a little triangle waiting for us to click on to place all the rest of the text throughout the document. We're not going to do that yet. We're just going to set up our formatting for our paragraphs correctly from a manuscript to a book. All right, so I want to show you this very quickly. Now, we right-click on heading 1 under text styles here on the right, and we say edit heading 1. Notice there it is. Our font is still the same. That is the heading, 22 points. That's all good. We go down to paragraph spacing, and it's aligned in the center. That's fine. All this is all good. But here we are going to change our spacing. We don't want 5 points to be after. We want more than 5 points. So we're just going to click on that, and we're going to make it 20 points. There we go. The space before is going to be 250 points. You see that? Now we're going to go down to this little section which says use space before. We want to use it always. That's what we want. We want to use it always. Space before, always. There it is. Now, we're going to go down to flow. The moment we clicked on flow, see what happened to our text. That acknowledgements was pushed down to 250 points from the top to just around halfway. Now our flow, we're going to start with heading 1 will start on the next odd page. See, there's an odd page number. So every heading 1, which is used for chapter titles or chapter titles, starts on an odd page, not an even page. You know, even is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, odd is 1, 3, 5, 7, and so forth. Anyway, so we're flowing on the next odd page. We'll just prevent orphaned and all that, so just let that, that's all fine. That's fine, that's all good. And we say, okay. All right, there we go. Now, our first, our paragraphs are, I select the first one. You'll notice it's called normal. Right click on normal. We edit normal and we have a look at it. It tells me the font size is 11. I don't want 11. I want 12. That's good. We're going to go down to spacing as well. And you'll notice the first line indent is 8 millimeters. We want to change it to 5. That's all good. No, actually, let's keep it at 8. 8 is good. The alignment we want is going to be justified last left line. There it is. So if you look at it, there, you know, you want to have a view of what it looks like. There it is. Okay. So now you'll notice all the rest of all the paragraphs that are called normal have adjusted themselves. All right. So there we go. That's perfect. And we say OK. There it is. Now, I want to set up one more. And we're going to go to the first paragraph again. But this time we're not going to right-click on normal. We're going to go down here. And we're going to create a new paragraph style. There it is. We click on that. And we're going to call it first paragraph drop cap. I like drop caps, and that will be okay. First paragraph drop cap. We go down to drop caps there under paragraphs, and we enable the drop cap. Watch this now. We enable it. The lines, it's going to be 3 lines. Characters will be 1. That's good. Go to spacing. We are, the first line will not be 8, it's going to be 0 millimeters. There it is. And we say, okay, there's our drop cap for the first paragraph. The first paragraph. There it is. Okay. Right, now we're going to flow our text out across the whole document. Hold down the Shift key before you do anything. There it is. Shift, hold it down. The Shift key on your keyboard. Go to this little triangle down here and click on it and watch what happens. Text is flowed out. Documents are created throughout the whole document and all the way to the end. Notice, I'll just drag all the way up. Look at all the documents that have been placed from page 1 onwards. Look at that. We are still with acknowledgements. There it is. There's our introduction. See? Right where it should be, on an odd page. Chapter 1 is there. There it is. And we've just got to fix a few things in the document. For instance, this quote has to be fixed. So we select the quote and we right-click on the quote in the text styles and we edit it. We're going to edit this. The alignment will be justified last left line. There it is. Space after is not going to be 36 points. It's going to be less. I think we should make it 15. There it is. See how it's just adjusting it in real time? There we go. We do not want a first line indent. We want it to be 0. We want a left indent. We want a right indent. It seems like this is still picking up. You'll note, I'll show you now in a minute. All right. Yeah. We've got to just fix this down here. There's a problem here. But anyway, so that's how you do it. And we go to font. We don't want 16. We want it to be 12. And whatever else. So there we go. Now we've just got to fix this over here. If we go with Psalm 34 verse 8, and we just do that, and then we do this, we place it again. Let's just select it. And let's go back to chapter quote. You just had to fix a few things. I'm just fixing this with our spacing. We are space between the same styles. Now, if you can see here, we want the same space between the same styles. Okay, space between same styles to not change at all. It can be 0. We don't want a space between same styles, because when we make a new paragraph, we don't want 15 points between the end of this paragraph and this one here. All right, so we'll say okay. We still have a problem here. It's not lining up very nicely. So what we're going to do is with paragraph, we're going to go and we're going to change it back to 5. And then we're going to update this. Update. We're going to update again. We're going to apply chapter quote to paragraphs and clear character styles. And hopefully that will set up the rest in our entire document, what's left of it, the rest of the document. Let's go down and have a look. It didn't do it. See there? That indent is still there. For some reason, Affinity is not sorting this out. I don't know if it's a glitch in the software that I cannot tell you, but the chapter quote, I mean, all the numbers are correct in the paragraph, and it still does it. It still doesn't want to sort out. You'll notice it still says there's our first line indent is still 8, and it doesn't want to fix it. So I think there's a bit of a a glitch in the software. Somehow there is a glitch. It needs to be fixed. Anyway, but that's how you flow out all your text across your documents, and you want to have your headings. You see, look there, when we end there, it's going to give us a blank page on the left so that we can start our next heading on the right. And that is it. So that's not too bad. There's a lot more to be corrected in the document. We've got to set up the rest of this document with no master page allocated on the right hand side, because we don't want running headers at the start of a chapter. We want them over there. We want them on the rest of our pages. But now, if you need to learn how to do that, go and have a look at my other tutorials on how to lay out a book. But this one is just a different method of flowing your text from one manuscript right across into all the pages that you require in your book, from beginning to end. And all chapters will start on a right-hand page, which is an odd page, and they will start 250 points down from the top of the margin to around the middle of the page. And also notice we set up our drop caps, which need to, like it is in acknowledgements, we would need to go to each one of these and select the chapter, the first paragraph, and make a drop cap, and then go to the next chapter, do exactly the same. This is how it's done. There's no shortcuts. You've got to do this manually. You can do it in the manuscript if you like. You can set it up in your manuscript, but sometimes Microsoft Word doesn't do such a great job. One more thing I want to show you is what we're going to do with our normal, well, not just our normal paragraphs, but we're going to set up a baseline grid. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the beginning of our book, and we are going to go up to first text frame. We're going to make sure that our text frame tab is selected, and we're going to go with our baseline grid. We're going to use a baseline grid, but notice what it's done, but we're going to fix that. We're not going to make it 14 points. It's going to be 3.2 points. Yeah, 3.2 points for our baseline grid. It's going to line up our text very nicely across our pages. That's our baseline grid. And we're going back to our normal text style, and we're going to make sure that under flow we are preventing orphaned first lines, and we're preventing widowed last lines. It's very important so that you don't have this this strange sort of formatting. Notice how the book flows across. You see, there's a line there that ends, and you will fix up a lot of formatting problems if you use a baseline grid and your widows and orphans. You'll notice that it'll fix up a lot of alignment issues in your document. See there, your alignment. If you switch on View Baseline Grid, oh, did it not do it? Show Baseline Grid. We want to show the baseline grid. It's not showing it. It is not showing our baseline grid. Okay, we use a baseline grid. No. Yeah, it's supposed to show our baseline grid, but anyway, it's not showing it. All right, that's fine. For some reason, it's not showing the baseline grid. Show baseline grid. Come on. Oh. It's not showing any baseline grid. That doesn't matter. Anyway, but believe me, it's lined up nicely because we've set our baseline grid for all the normal text style. So, and there's also no widows, remove widows or prevent widows and orphans and all that kind of stuff. You'll notice that this line ends there. It didn't start that down over there because it would have messed up. It would have caused some widows and orphans and stuff like that. But that's all fine. So there you go. In order to set up your sections, you'll find that in one of my other tutorials. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and you can see that this will save a lot of time in laying out your book in the future. All right then, thank you very much.